Dwayne in New Jersey, the great WABC, disagrees with something. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing there, Mr. Levin?
All right, it's Mark Levin, but you can call me Mark, Dwayne.
Okay, Mark, sorry about that. Well,
All right.
I disagree with, you bashing the president like, he hasn't did anything. And I'm a business owner, okay? I own 2 trucks, actually, and I'm doing just fine, I don't make $200,000, but that doesn't affect me as far as, like, taxes. But you know what? I don't have a problem paying my fair share. Okay.
All right, well, other people do. Now, let me ask you something. You have 2 trucks. I assume they run on what we... Hold on now, I'm talking. I assume they run on what we call gasoline, correct?
Say that again?
You have 2 trucks. Do they run on gasoline, sir?
Oh, no, they run on diesel.
Well, that's what I mean. Diesel is a form of gasoline, is it not?
Right.
Has the price gone up? Hold on. Will you let me talk and we can follow along here a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do your trucks transport?
We just general freight.
And when the price of the diesel goes up, do you pass that price on to your customers?
Of course.
And the general freight, what general freight, like what? Anything, right? Whatever the product is that they need moved.
Whatever the product
is. Okay, so whatever the product is, they add the cost of the product and they pass that on to the consumer, correct?
That's correct.
So everybody is affected by what the president does. You may be doing just fine, but somebody at the end of your process, you're the trucker, you move the product to point A. Point A may move it to point B, eventually gets to the end user, the consumer, and the price is higher, and it may be costing somebody an enormous amount of money, and maybe they can't afford it.
Well, for one...
So the fact that you're doing okay, I mean, that's an anecdote. I can get 1,000 people calling here who aren't doing okay. And let me tell you something. When you have 47 million people on food stamps, and 10 years ago you had 19 million people on food stamps, and you have 23 million people who are out of work or who are underemployed, and when you have small businesses, not yours, but many, closing all over the country, we can do better than this, don't you think, Dwayne?
Well, Mark, can you let me talk? I mean, I answered your question, okay? But also, let me tell you, all right, like you said, it's not the president's fault that fuel went up. For one, there was a refinery that caught fire over in, I think California or somewhere. So that's one of the reasons. All
right, stop. The refinery that caught fire in California drove up the price of gasoline, in part, in California. But the price of a gallon of gasoline has been double or more than double for most of this president's term in office. And what do you mean it's not his fault? I don't understand this. You tell me it's not his fault. Well, what is his fault? Is anything his fault?
His fault. Yeah.
What?
I can tell you. You know what? He messed up last week with the debate with Romney. Okay.
No. I'm talking about as a matter of policy. Is there anything that's his fault?
No, because
all right. Goodbye. Thank you for your call. That's it. Now, here's the deal. Presidents can help create an environment where there's wealth creation, where there's an expansion of opportunity, and that's what we want from our presidents. When a president puts in place purposefully policies that are intended to cut off energy production, to drive up the price of electricity, which he used to brag about, to put coal miners out of work and shut down coal mines, to make it more difficult to mill steel, and on and on and on, one industry to the next, that's his fault. That's his EPA. Those are his policies. Those are policies that were not in place 4 years ago. When a president steps in to block a pipeline from our friends in Alaska who are bringing out oil through oil shale, and now the Chinese are involved in that, that's his fault. When a president of the United States, with 2 supermajorities in the House and Senate for 2 years, institutes a massive budget with massive deficit spending, well, whose fault is that? When a president of the United States imposes on the people, without a single Republican vote, Obamacare, which the people have never wanted and still don't want, well, whose fault is that? The guy's got 2 trucks and he's doing well. Good for him. Well, then I guess I'll vote for Obama because the guy's got 2 trucks and he's doing well. Now, we all know where the country's going. We all can see the welfare state is getting much, much bigger while it's collapsing. A statement I make over and over again. We all see that our children are going to inherit massive debt because of the selfishness of this president and this generation. We all see that inflation is on the horizon. You can't be printing money like this, borrowing money like this. Great, the Fed has its thumb on the scale, that's fine, but one day it comes off. Some of us, sir, see what's going to happen 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, and you don't. You're perfectly happy with your 2 trucks. Good for you. But open your eyes. Pay attention to what's going on around you, because it's not so good.